If a coach told you that you don't have to get on sales calls in order to get high ticket clients, they're either lying to you or they're giving you very bad information, and here's why. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jana Niksa. I am the Authentic Sales Coach. Welcome back to my channel where I help coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs create more offers and then teach you how to sell them with authenticity and without being some pushy salesperson. So let's get into it. Okay, now rule number one when it comes to high ticket, maybe those coaches don't have to do sales calls anymore, but I guarantee you at one point in their business, they did. Here's why. First of all, not doing sales calls and getting over that fear and learning how to effectively communicate with your ideal client is the foundation for any successful business. If you think you're gonna get to skip that step and still sell high ticket, it's not going to work. Because the best thing you can do is learn how to speak your ideal client's language. And guess where the best place is to do that, to get that information, to get inside their head is on a sales call. So I believe when coaches speak to this, they're speaking to your fears, talking about what you want and not what you need. And for the rest of us, you guys have probably been in those programs and realized either once you're inside, they're like, actually, you do have to do sales calls, at least for now, or you realize maybe it's a low ticket thing, which we'll get into, and that's an entirely different sales process. But just selling something to somebody and playing to their fears in hopes that they won't actually have to get on a call, or let me say this, in the DMs, just like a call would be, is really misinformation, because high ticket buyers want to have these conversations. They want to connect with you and they want to make sure the chemistry's right, as do you. If you get on a call with somebody and it doesn't jive, right? Like you can tell that you're not on the same page. Do you really want to work with them as a high ticket client? That's a lot of your time. So it's really for both sides of the equation. Not to mention, this is where you build that trust, you build that rapport, and you start learning what is landing for your ideal client. The best way I know to test my message or maybe a new product or a new phrase or way of describing something is to do networking, to pitch, to get on sales calls. And if you're not doing that because of whatever reason, I would strongly advise you to really understand that everything that you want is going to be outside your comfort zone. And so it's really, really imperative that we build the muscle, not just around sales, but around the fact that I have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, the other thing that could be going on here is whether you're doing a high ticket sales process or a lower ticket sales process, because there are, of course, digital products that you don't need to get on a sales call for, right? And it's really important that we know the difference because I think a lot of people try to model the gurus that are out there and oh, well, they're doing it this way, so I must have to do it this way. But the truth is those gurus are an entirely different part of their business where maybe they don't have to take sales calls anymore, or maybe they have a team that takes them. Or certainly if they're doing a low ticket funnel or even a mid ticket funnel, you may not have to get on sales calls. But rest assured, anybody that's starting out, or even approaching their first six figures or even multiple six figures, I would say is still in, if you want to sell high ticket, is still in the zone of sales calls. So don't confuse a big name coach and their low ticket digital product funnel process and what it is in high ticket. The best part though is in high ticket sales, and what I love about it so much and what I really help my clients with here is understanding that you don't need a ton of people. You don't need a ton of tech. The most important thing you need is to understand your ideal client and how to speak to the transformation that you provide and the challenge that you solve. Something else that's going to go down with automation is not just the price, but also the conversion rate. You got to think about it. If you're making an important, informed decision, the more you can talk people through the decision-making process and guide them, and also be there to really help them when they rub up against the resistance. So, which is just the fears, the objections, like, will this work for me? And this is a lot of money, and helping them see what is available to them in a customized way, because you've been actually listening to them, is so invaluable. It's not only going to make all of your other funnels and all of your other communication down the road more effective, not to mention your content, it also has a much higher conversion rate. Because when you're in that space, when you're asking those questions, when you're actively listening, then you get to customize the way that you share your offer. Because you're making an offer is a verb, it's not a noun. Your offer is not this set in stone, this is exactly how I do it, at least not in high ticket, and especially not in high ticket. This is where customization comes in. This is where maybe specific bonuses are pulled into the equation, and you want to know how to customize based on what they share on the call so that you can do that on the spot, and that's going to help out your conversion rates. Just to be clear, here's when sales calls aren't needed. Maybe you've been doing them for a long time and you've got your message so dialed in and you know exactly what to say that not only can you close them in the DMs, or you can close them in a super dialed in funnel, okay? But typically you're gonna wanna aim for products that are $2,000 and less, okay? Most people want to, especially if it's over 5K, would like to either have some sort of like one-to-many conversation or a one-on-one conversation. Again, at first, this isn't forever, okay? But you're doing yourself an injustice if you don't go through this process, because it's only going to make you better at building out the funnels, at creating the copy, at doing the things that can be done on autopilot later. Otherwise, you really have no idea what's effective for them. So the real reason you hear this is because they want you to buy into something that is not really true. And chances are when you get into the inside of that program, they're going to say, well, we'll teach you at some point how to not do sales calls, but for now you got to learn how to do sales calls, right? Or they're helping you avoid some of the things, the things you're avoiding the most are the things that will unlock the most success in your business, right? And so a good marketer is going to know that and play to what you want to hear. But if they're a good coach, they're going to deliver you what you need, which is understanding how to take people through the decision-making process. So what I always tell my clients in my community is start with high ticket, get on those sales calls, really learn what they're sharing with you, like really understand them, actively listen, be present, really feel into what is really going on for them. That's going to set the tone for the rest of your business. And then when it's time to scale, then you can build out more of the digital products, the digital processes, the back-end systems that make it far easier to scale. But without that solid foundation, it's going to be a lot harder to do, especially if what you really want to do is serve people at the highest level, which is in a high ticket program. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Please share this with somebody that you feel would benefit. And I would love to know, based on what I shared, like comment below, like what is a question that you have about high ticket that I can answer? And I'll definitely consider it for a video in the future. And if you want to go deeper on this issue, check out the link in the description where I have access to some of my other trainings and also whatever upcoming live events we have. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.